It's the starting lineup. Kip Keefer, Tony Curry, the legend, and Case Keefer bring it every week.
The coaches don't like what's going on.
Fellas, wow. Congratulations.
Weather is of universal appeal. It affects you and everybody watching.
Because you're real, legend. You're authentic. You've lived it.
You never know who's going to be in the starting lineup.
The starting lineup, 10:30 to 11 on ABC 3340 every Saturday morning. It's finally here, baby. It's football time. Yeah. We've been waiting to talk about that. We've been waiting to talk about this for so long. Along with Kip Keefer, have a special guest. You never knew he was going to be started by the stopper. He's on the starting lineup here. He's going to join us just a minute here from the Woodhouse Day Spa. I'm Tony Curry, and it is kickoff Saturday in less than 30 minutes, Kip. We have the game in Dublin, Ireland.
How about that?
How about that?
Yeah, it's I don't really understand. Now, last year, Notre Dame Navy, that makes kind of sense for Ireland. Yeah. I'm not really, I'm struggling to find the answer to the Florida State Georgia Tech conflict over there. We're going to have Joe O'Neill on in a few minutes, a Florida State aficionado. Maybe he can explain to us why the Seminoles are now prowling around on Irish grounds.
A team that was 13-0 last year, obviously had a wonderful year this year, and of course Norvell is hoping to back it up with a second season. And then there's Brent Key, who's over at Georgia Tech at his alma mater in his second season, and had a really nice season last year for Georgia Tech. They got a lot of firepower coming back. Always a nice offense in that line, 10.5. We're going to have some plays in the game before 11 o'clock this morning, so make sure you have
Speaking of firepower, look at this guest. We got our favorite guest, too.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. He's been on the show several times with us, does fantastic work every time he's on with us. Like, bring him back on. Not only does he like to pick some ball games, but he does fantastic work and has a great story called the Woodhouse Day Spa. And this is a special time of the year because we've been talking on Tony Curry Radio. This is a very pivotal moment here, Kip, because you're going to have your man now for the next, say, 13, 14, 15, 16 weeks, depending on the NFL, going to be gone from like 10:30 in the morning till like 11 o'clock at night. He needs to take care of his baby, and no better way to do that than go to the Woodhouse Day Spa, get her one of those 6-for-5 deals. Talk about some of your great specials you got on during the football season there.
Yeah,
Stuart Rome with the Woodhouse Day Spa in Birmingham there.
We're so excited about it this week. I mean, it's week one's always kind of funky because you never know what you're going to get. It's a mixture of crap and things like that. But
you can say crap. It's crap.
Right?
Montana State's crap.
Yeah, you got some SEC games that are good. LSU, USC should be great. In Las Vegas. Georgia, Clemson, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you have some really good ones, and then the ones that you're gonna be like, it might be 80-0, things like that. But yeah, so week one's always a hodgepodge, and they could be some surprises.
I'd rather have Georgia Tech, FSU, and then 4 other games just to have the hodgepodge than have nothing at all. You know what I mean? They can call it week 0, week -1, what do they call it? It does make you wonder, but they do have them staggered, so you got games every 3 hours. All the way till, I guess, the Hawaii game, which starts at 10:59 later on tonight. So you can be watching football at 3 o'clock in the morning. But it does make you wonder why they wouldn't maybe add just a couple more games to spice it up just a little bit on week 0. But then again, Kip, I think a lot of people, they don't want to start playing football until September, man. It's too hot.
Yeah, there's a couple games, not really anything notable other than Florida State, Georgia Tech. I guess the other biggest names on today's schedule is the game in Reno, Nevada between SMU of the Atlantic Coast Conference.
It is.
A lot of folks don't realize the Mustangs have made the jump. They're playing Nevada at Reno, or just University of Nevada. Not a very good team this year, according to Case Keefer, our Mountain West expert. So that's kind of the prime time game, but not a real heavy platter. But next Saturday, man,
it's going to be huge.
I mean, it's going to be off the hook.
So one of the reasons that ABC 3340 asked Kip and I to come back for the second football season is to actually.
Well, first we begged.
It was the other way around, my friend. I got news for you. After last season, it was fantastic. We've been on throughout the entire summer. So we're going to be breaking down, obviously, this early games at 11 o'clock as the SEC goes to bed with ABC/Disney/ESPN. And we'll have that early game, Georgia and Clemson, of course, the first kickoff. So every week, Saturday mornings, 11 o'clock, we're going to ABC 3340. You're getting a marquee matchup. I mean, it's not going to be the old JP games. These are going to be monster games. We're really happy to be on at least 30 minutes prior to this kickoff games. We'll have March. We're going to have so much stuff going on this week. We're going to sell this kind of a soft opening. We're kind of feeling it out a little bit. We got Stuart here to talk about one of our great spots in the Woodhouse Day Spa. But then next week, man, Make sure you tune in at 10:30. We're going to have plays out the wazoo. We got a brand new show coming up, brand new podcast called 4K Wins. Then, of course, all the plays right here on the starting lineup.
And a dynamic new format starting next week for football season. We're going to really go around rapid fire. It's going to be very visual. Tons of information, like Tony just said. Do not miss next Saturday's show because it is going to be the best kickoff you can possibly imagine to your SEC football weekend.
When you have the big wigs here at ABC make the call and said, are you really planning on giving Kip Keefer a massage live on the show next Saturday morning? I said, yes, sir, we are. And he goes, no.
Yeah.
We have to protect
Kip
the license.
Keefer virtually.
And I said, and here we go.
We were ready to go.
With a couple minutes left. Here we go. Here's the stigmatism that because we're going to have Kip butt naked up here on stage while you're eating your Cheerios at 10:45 in the morning, and maybe someone doesn't find that appetizing. I do. I mean, I was going to be sitting here with you. I was going to be under the table interviewing you. They're like, that ain't going to happen.
But we've got a good idea.
We're going to work on it still.
We'd like to bring some cameras and that maybe you guys can tend to me a little bit over on your home ground, and we can shoot some really good video of all that you offer there because I know you've got phenomenal facilities.
Yeah, we have a new party room which is fantastic in the expansion area where you can bring in like 10, 15 people. We've got AV equipment, those kind of things. Of course, we have regular quiet rooms, but for the people that don't watch college football, which are very few, in Birmingham, come on to the spa. We open Saturday, we open Sunday. You have a lady or a gentleman, whatever, that doesn't watch football, send them to the spa. That frees you up the entire day. If you buy that gift card for a spa day, you are good to go, for the entire day. Watch as much football as you want.
And gift cards are awesome.
It's better to ask for forgiveness than it is, permission.
Yeah.
In this particular case, go ahead and do the forgiveness thing right at the beginning of the season. Yeah. Give her the 6 for $5 deal, or you can give her a 12 for 10, and that way she's covered every week of the year, man. 905-7676.
I'm telling you, as a guy who's been a sucker for always looking for the perfect gift, a gift card to a spa is a hit. I mean, a mega hit. Flowers, candy, all that kind of
if she
cliche
don't like that,
stuff.
the relationship ain't going to work.
Gift cards for spa services are a winner. If you guys are in the doghouse or if you just want to do something really nice for that special person in your life, that's your best bet.
Birmingham.woodhousespas.com, Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. It's the Woodhouse Day Spa. We'll be right back here on the starting lineup.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino turns dreams into reality. Like Roger M., who just won over $51,000. And Rebecca, celebrating a life-changing jackpot of $160,000. You could be the next to dance the Icky Shuffle with a big win.
Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! And you can be a winner too!
Don't miss your chance to be our next big winner at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.
Each year, significant funding from entertainment dollars generated at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino and distributed by the Birmingham Racing Commission provides significant revenue to some of our community's most vital resources. And one of those exemplary institutions is historic Miles College, a true foundational pillar of academic opportunities and excellence. Recognized as among America's most outstanding HBCU institutions, Miles College, an annual statutory recipient of funding from the Racing Commission, utilizes those proceeds to assist in providing invaluable education and resources in a variety of fields of study. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, paying off for Alabama.
A real interesting time of the year. It's college football season, but it's also a time where you need to trust your mate because they're usually gone for a long period of time. It's kind of like hunting season, when the old man leaves Friday, but he don't come home till Monday. Are you sure you've been sitting in a tree stand for the last 3 days? Maybe Spy for Rent are the people you need to check up on. They do all that stuff. Child custody, divorces, you name it, insurance, settlements, whatever it is. It is spy4rent.com. Spy4rent.com. Corey Fuller and, of course, my good friend Mike Hamby is going to join us right here in the studio on the starting lineup coming up in just a little bit later on. Check out Spy4Rent for anything you need. PI work, private investigation at its best right here in Birmingham. Spy4Rent, the number 4rent.com. Don't need a spy for this guy. You find him wherever you're looking on the boob tube, man, and he is the boob on our show. Starting lineup, this is the legend.
Oh, it's the legend, the 4-time Paul Feinbaum Caller of the Year, and this is the Tighter Insider. We are 1 week away, ladies and gentlemen, from kicking it off. And you know what I always say, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Yes, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And when you're an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, you don't only look forward to kickoff, you look forward to kicking somebody in the butt. And week 1 next week, ladies and gentlemen, we have Western Kentucky. And I don't know if y'all know it or not, but the Western Kentucky quarterback is T.J. Finley. You remember statue T.J. Finley? Yeah, looked like a statue in the pocket. Well, he's got a little bit more mobile, and he's got a big arm. So look for Alabama to get tested right away with that young secondary. I was asked this week about Coach DeBoer and his approach to this game. And I want you to know something. I want to tell you something. They asked me, legend, Coach DeBoer, he's a gentleman. He seems like a meek man, a good man, a man. He said he never cussed. But I got inside information on Coach DeBoer about something that you don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he's a good man, he's a meek man, he's a kind man, and he don't swear. But when that whistle blows, ladies and gentlemen, when that whistle blows, the monster comes out of Coach DeBoer. The monster comes out of Coach DeBoer, ladies and gentlemen. The monster! Yes, the coach at the University of Alabama, you got to have a monster within you. And Coach DeBoer, when the whistle blows. Oh, you said, legend, you crazy. You may be right. I'm a nut, but I'm screwed on the right bolt, and that's the Alabama Crimson Tide, baby. It's time to get excited about this season. It's time to get excited. Why am I so excited? Jalen Milroe, baby. Woo! I done put my money down on him winning the Heisman in this offense. You could see 4,500 yards. I'm spitting. Get the tiles. I'm spitting. There's a flood up here at ABC. I'm spitting. Jalen Milroe could have 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns this year. This is going to be an elite, explosive offense, one that you ain't never seen. When Jalen Milroe touches the field, you know what happens. You know what happens. You know what Jalen Milroe turns into. A monster. That's right. This is a monster. Alabama is a monster. Oh, that ought to pump you up, Alabama. They've been counting us out. I done got my hat crooked. They've been counting us out. I've been hearing on the news that Georgia is the center of the sports universe. Georgia is the center of the football universe. Oh, that's the craziest thing I ever heard in my life. Alabama is the center of the universe. They can disrespect us, but they better know that when we step on the field, the monster is coming out. It's who we are. We are a monster. And don't you forget it, Alabama football fans. Don't you never take a backseat to nobody. Anybody that ever tells you Georgia is the center of the universe, look at them and say, you are a moron, you are crazy. There is one Boston Celtics of college football. There is one New York Yankee of college football. It's the monster! It's the monster! Woo! Are you ready? Next Saturday, baby, tune in right here. The starting lineup with a whole new floor mat. You think I'm crazy this week? Wait till next week. Because the monster, baby. Don't be like the monster. Remember, it's just a game. Don't be like the monster, Kevin Coach DeBoer legend. Sports insane.
Going to be starting a brand new podcast called K4 Winners. There are 4 guys with K's in their names, and we're all winners. 26-7. Kip and I went this past season. Our pickers here on the show, we had 4 different pickers. They were unbelievable. 21-7. They went almost as well as we did. Of course, the legend did really well. And Case, who is on the show just to pick ball games, man. He lights out, was unbelievable. So check out Southern Precision Staffing. Kai Gregory was the one man everyone was talking about. He went 9-0 one week. Go back and look on our YouTube channel. He went 9-0 one week. Fantastic. He's going to be a part of the show. And of course, if you're looking for anyone to go ahead and help your staff, you got a little hole action, you're looking for someone to go ahead and fill that little hole, do it with Southern Precision Staffing. 205-682-2828. 205-682-2828 where your word and your handshake still means something. They're right here in Hoover, Alabama, but they serve the United States of America. Southern Precision Staffing. 205-682-2828, only seen on the starting lineup.
Well, we've got a lot of things going on these next couple of weeks. College football back with a fury starting next weekend. But in the meantime, we are kicking off for the 8th consecutive season tomorrow morning, 9 to 11 on Jocks FM 94.5 here in Birmingham. The morning after, it's back. Kip Keefer, Terry Quillian, a show that has really taken off over the years because it's your first opportunity to weigh in on everything you see on the field on Saturday. Now, this week's show, the debut for the season, we're going to have all kinds of guests on all kinds of different topics to get you ready for next week. But then starting a week from Sunday, which will be September 1st, a brand new month right around the corner, we are going to give you the chance to call in, talk about Alabama, Auburn, your favorite team, whoever that might be, or whatever your impression of the games the day before, the announcers, the production, anything and everything. It's the forum that college football fans love. The morning after, Kip and Terry, our 8th season, the longest running sports show on radio in Birmingham, and we are kicking it off again for 2024, and we can't wait. And speaking of the can't wait, next week on the show, do not miss it. Tony mentioned it earlier. At 10:30, we're on. Georgia and Clemson are coming up at 11 o'clock right after we sign off and throw it over to Atlanta. The new format's going to be fast-moving, high entertainment, and tons of information, especially if you like to make an investment or two on the games. We are going to have your back big time. So don't miss it. The new format starts next week. And speaking of formats, Case Keefer's not going to let this first day of college football go by without giving you some guidance. Here he is, our man in the desert, Case, with his picks on this Saturday.
Hey, it's Case Keefer in Las Vegas, coming back again for another edition of my best bets as part of the starting lineup and game time. And finally, we have games to talk about. Well, I shouldn't say finally. We've been talking about football games here on the show for several months, or at least I have, on this best bets segment, given out some games. Picked a lot of futures and win totals too, but I do know I gave out one game on the opening week 0 slate tonight. Only 2 FBS games on the board, but I did give out, I believe, SMU minus 23.5 heading to what you know as Nevada, what we call around here Nevada, Reno, UNR. Got a good number on that one if you bet it there. Now sitting, at least at recording time, at about SMU minus 24.5. Got as high as 27.5 before we saw some buyback. I still think this should be a good spot for the Mustangs. They should beat up on the Wolfpack, who are rebuilding totally from scratch. Now it looks like their presumed quarterback Chuba Purdy is hurt, so I don't really know what the number is doing coming towards Reno now. I still like SMU in that spot. Hopefully you got in when I did and got a little bit better number. And unfortunately, I don't really like starting the college football season this way, but a pretty chalky Saturday for me. No huge opinion or anything, but especially right now at recording time with the number dipping all the way to minus 10. I kind of like Florida State in Ireland. I actually bet a worse number. I bet it when it hit 11, set 14 most of the summer. I thought about 2 touchdowns was right. I think there's a huge talent gap here between Florida State and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech can score, and I can even be convinced that you want to trust Haynes King and that offense more than DJU and the Florida State offense. But just, top to bottom, Georgia Tech's defense is going to be, shouldn't be very good. Florida State, really did work in the portal for the second year in a row. I really think this should be their game, and I know these Ireland games have been wonky, but the weather shouldn't be much of a problem today, so I like Florida State minus 10 in that one. I feel obligated to pick that as the first game of the year. I know we'll have a full show back for you next week on Saturday before the first full kickoff, but I thought in the meantime, why don't we pick some midweek games, really kind of slim pickings. I wish college football spread it out a little bit more. We had a little bit better week 0 and midweek week 1, but why not pick off one Thursday game and one Friday game before I sign off here. And the Thursday game, I hate going against the state school of where this is airing, but Jacksonville State hosting Coastal Carolina, a 3.5 point favorite are the Gamecocks, and I like Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, plus 3.5. I probably wouldn't bet it at any lower than that. 3.5 still a pretty key number in college football, not as much as the NFL, but I do think I want that extra hook there for the Thursday night game. These two teams played last year, and Coastal Carolina was a 14-point favorite, I believe, or maybe they were a 13-point favorite, won by 14. I don't really think the team's going to be much worse this year. I know everyone expects that because Grayson McCall is now gone, will be the quarterback at NC State. But I don't think he played the last 6 games last year, and Ethan Vasco, who replaced him, performed pretty admirably, or maybe it wasn't 6 games, only 4 or 5, but Coastal Carolina played fine. They've kind of reloaded around him. I don't expect a huge fall off, and I don't really like Jacksonville State's offense all that much. I think Coastal Carolina, if this is kind of a sloppy week 1 game, I think points are always going to be valuable. I just think these teams are pretty close. I'm going to take Coastal Carolina plus 3.5 for the Thursday night lights, and then moving to Friday, I'm redeeming myself for going favorite to start the year. So I'm going to go with another underdog. This one, a home underdog, Stanford plus 9.5, hosting TCU. I'm not high on the Horned Frogs this year. They bring Andy Avalos in as their defensive coordinator. I still think the defensive problems are going to persist. And while Stanford not exactly going to take advantage with the world's best roster, they are second in the nation in returning production per the SP Plus ratings. And really last year at the beginning of the year under now second-year coach Troy Taylor, who I think very highly of, is pretty innovative, smart guy. You don't have to worry about him making any bad decisions. But anyway, at the beginning of last year, before the lack of depth really showed up, they were pretty strong. They gave some guys, they gave some supposedly superior teams some games. I think they started like 3-1 or 4-1 against the spread, knocked off Hawaii as an underdog. They're going to be healthy. They're getting to play at home, a long trip for TCU. I don't think they should be a virtual double-digit underdog in this game. TCU definitely better, but truer price for me around something like TCU -7. So Stanford plus 9.5 to go with Coastal Carolina plus 3.5 and Florida State plus 10. Welcome to football season. I'll be bringing you bets every week. Those are just 3 ones to get started with. Thanks, as always, for hanging out with me.
Coming up at the top of the hour here, the starting lineup, it's going to be FSU and Georgia Tech. It is going to be about 5 o'clock p.m. local time in Dublin, Ireland, as it kicks off here at 11 o'clock this morning. We have a special guest, Kip.
Yes, we do. Just to show the reach that we have, we're not just going to talk about Florida State between the two of us. We brought in Joe O'Neill, who's a Florida State big-time fan, booster, supporter, whatever term you want to assign to him. Joe knows FSU forward and backwards. And Joe, I kind of wanted to start the discussion. Last year was the season you've been waiting for quite a while as the team built. Mike Norvell had a perfect season. But then, of course, the North Alabama game of all things. I mean, a nightmare scenario. You lose your quarterback. But Florida State continues to win without him the last couple of ball games, win the ACC championship, left out. We know all the story. Tell us about how that all affected the FSU Nation and how you've transitioned to getting ready for a new season. I know Norvell's done a great job of kind of restocking the talent.
Well, and that's exactly it. He last year had a great defense that carried us those last few games with after the injury to Jordan Travis. And the difficulty is this year is replacing some of those defensive guys that are going to be playing on Sunday this year. And he's maybe one of the best coaches in America at going to the portal. And he's done it again. He went and borrowed one of your guys from defensive end.
Not the first time.
Not the first time, yeah. Yeah, there's been several. So the defensive line is rated by a lot of people in the top 5 in the nation. So I think they're going to be good there. The back end of the defense is going to be great. Borrowed a few people from the Legends team there too. We do a lot of borrowing these days.
Well, that's the name of the game.
That's the portal is how you restock when people go to the pros. So Norvell's a great coach, and with most great coaches, they find a way to win with the folks that they have. And I think this is probably the best offensive line he's had since he's been there. The question marks are linebacker and quarterback. And the quarterback's had a lot of experience at Division I. He's played a lot of games. The question is, can he do it for a new system and with the wide receiver room might be a little less than what we've been used to the last couple of years.
Joe, it scares me just a little bit. You lost Jordan Travis. We know that, so it has to be replaced. Then you lost your best running back. You lost 2 wide receivers that had just a bunch of catches last year. And let's be honest here, towards the end of the year, without Jordan Travis, that was a really hard football team to watch, offensively speaking. And defensively, yeah, lights out. So what can we expect offensively speaking? Is it going to be a lot of what we saw in the second half of last year, or will this look like a totally different football team?
This will be a whole different football team. That team that played the last couple games played with a third-string quarterback.
Yeah.
The second one got knocked out in the first part of the Florida game and was supposed to play the ACC championship game, and he still had concussion protocol. So we were playing with a freshman third-string quarterback. So we went out and got, from the portal, we got DJU, who played at Clemson at one point, played at Oregon State last year. He's a big boy, and he can run, but he likes to throw. He's got a big arm. We borrowed a wide receiver from Legends team, Malik Benson, and he's a big, tall, fast wide receiver that he's the kind of guy you can throw it up there and let him go get it. So I think that's a big plus. The running back room is probably better than it was last year, even with Trey Benson going to the Cardinals. They brought in good talent through the portal and drafted well through the recruiting process. There's a kid on there named Cam Davis that might be a Dalvin Cook clone and with a little bit more size. So I think they're good to go there. I think the offensive line will be good. I don't think we'll have problems moving the ball against Georgia Tech. It's what can you do on first down when they run the read option and everybody has to perform what they're supposed to perform.
I hope I'm speaking for every college football fan, but college football is better when Notre Dame is good, when Alabama's good, when Auburn's better, and certainly when FSU is good. Do you remember when we used to watch football early in the season, you always had that FSU-Miami matchup. And that was the one game at the end. It was always at the beginning of the year. If you won that game, you had a shot at a national title. If you lost, you were out. We just haven't had those matchups like we've had back in the 80s, 90s. So it's going to be fantastic. And I was so happy to see them come back, obviously, with a 13-0 record to start last year. It's great to have them back in it.
I think they'll be in it this year, too. The question marks, early on, you're playing in Dublin, so you don't know what you're going to have there. We're playing a Georgia Tech team that's returning most of their offense from last year, which was a pretty good offense. Their defense is under a new coordinator that came over from Duke. He's from the Mike Elko tree. I think they'll be better defensively. We have better athletes. We're bigger, stronger, faster. We should be able to handle it.
Fired 4 guys on that defensive side of the ball and brought in 4 new guys. So, well, best of luck to you, man. Go Seminoles, and
we'll do some chopping.
We'll do this thing, man, and it's going to be a great season. And happy college football to you.
Thank you.
This is the starting lineup. Coming up top of the hour, live from Dublin, Ireland. It's the first ball game, really the only ball game of the day. FSU, Georgia Tech. Who do you like?
Case likes Florida State. I don't like to go against Case, so I'm going to go with the Noles, but it's a game I probably would not bet myself.
I normally wouldn't either. Georgia Tech is 6-1 against FSU the last 7. They're 4-3 straight up against FSU the last 7.
It's scary.
And of course, FSU's offense, I got to see that offense. I got to see it change a little bit. I just haven't seen enough. Georgia Tech's offense should be a lot better. Their defense has to be better. They fired 4 guys that side of the ball, brought them back. I'm going to take Georgia Tech early in the season, lay in the weeds a little bit, not a big play, just a little bit, and 10.5.
Well, I got to stick with Florida State because my man Joe says the Noles are going to be ready.
Back at you next week, the starting lineup.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino turns dreams into reality. Like Roger M., who just won over $51,000. And Rebecca, celebrating a life-changing jackpot of $160,000. You could be the next to dance the Icky Shuffle with a big win.
Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! And you can be a winner too!
Don't miss your chance to be our next big winner at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.